Right, I need to show you the result and between the Prius and the Hakosuka 1. Have a look. No, that's not what you wanted to see. There you go. Ah, takes its sweet time. Nice camera. Can't see. What's up guys, and welcome to a new episode of Followers Car. So today we're actually going to be doing something a bit different, but same really. Yeah, we're actually going to do another follower car, which is the selection of this week is a Hakosuka. I was actually very excited to see this in one of the suggestions on the Instagram comments. So yeah, I'm very excited to work on this actually. I have no idea how it will turn out. I have no idea what I'm doing with it. So yeah, we're just going to go along with this together. And the reason why I say I will do something a bit different this time is because I'm trying to figure out a way to share a bit more of the whole process with you. Second episode was the Austin Mini, and I shared some sketches, which was rather brief, but I think this is something that I would like to do again and share a bit more of the thought process about how, you know, I come up with some ideas sometimes, because sometimes I just go in without sketches, you improvise along the way. So this time I will try to do some sketches just to be able to share with you, and then we'll jump into 3ds Max because that's the software I'm using, and then the rendering process will be with Corona Renderer, which is implemented in Max. Let's just look at the sketches.
Right, sketches usually starts in many different ways. There is a lot of ways you can approach the sketches process. You can see here I'm actually flipping through different pages because every day for your first few sketches, for some reason sometimes you are a bit rusty, which was the case here. So just try to get this whole feel first, and you will also see that the sketches here they are all rather rough sketches, because what matters here is to get the general shape, the general idea. Look at this one, for example. It looks a bit cartoony. What is this? Disney Pixar? I know, right? So what matters here is to actually get the main shape of the car, get the general idea down on the paper, and you know, the key, whatever you're trying to do, just, you know, highlight them in a way, as you will see in a moment. But first things first is to just get the idea down on the paper, and some notes here and there if it's going to help you throughout the whole process later on. So as you can see here, I brought these sketches onto Photoshop, and I actually, you know, studied them a bit more, but that was rather quickly. But then I like shaded the part that I'm actually going to focus on. Of course, it's not going to be turning out exactly like this.
Are we surprised? Wide, low. Now that the sketches are done, we will just jump into 3ds Max and start messing with it. Let's do that now.
Now here, you can see my cursor is dancing around. It's a very important part of the process. Let's move on. So first things first, I always like to just bring in some wheels in, and then I just make the car sit on it. Anyway, yeah, let's just proceed. As you can see, the car is sitting on the wheels, and I think it's just a matter of being comfortable to work. You know, I just work on the ride height, and this actually is one of the first things that I personally like to do. It's not really important. You can go any way you want. And while I'm talking about the car sitting on the wheels, I'm already here working on the fenders, which is naturally for me another step that I actually like to go with. So it's very easy, you know. I know you don't see much of the options that I'm using here, but maybe I will tell a bit more about it right now. So what I'm doing here, I actually created a cylinder, and then I take the only parts that I want to do from the cylinder, deleted the rest. As you can see, I'm using here Turbo Smooth and some other modifiers that, you know, helps get the shape right in place. Yeah, you know, you just need to play along and get it to your own liking. But in this case, I'm actually slowly, not slowly, but I'm actually kind of referring to the sketches that I've been doing before. And of course, like I said, it doesn't really go directly like the sketches. It's just like the sketches are just there just to give an idea on what I'm aiming for as a general direction. So while modeling, I like to do it like freestyle modeling. That's how I call it sometimes. And I'm sure a lot of people, if you do 3D, I'm sure you can call it that way as well. Do you? Doesn't matter. So freestyle modeling, I just improvise along the way as well. And this is what happens sometimes when I don't have a sketch to go with or a bunch of sketches. I just create some shapes, some random shapes along the way, and that's it. Just keep dragging these pivot points around and these lines and whatever they're called. I'm sure if you're here watching this, maybe you have a slight interest and you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you don't, well, magic. So we're moving to the rear fenders. We will try to make it a bit more cohesive, a bit like the front one, obviously. And one thing I really wanted to do here is to leave, on the contrary from the sketches, which the back of the rear fenders, it had a little bit of opening. So what I'm actually trying to do here is actually having a bigger opening, because I think it's a bit more badass. So yeah, fenders, the two fenders, like I said in the beginning, start with a wheel. That's what I do, just to get comfortable, to know where the car is sitting and everything. And then I move to the fenders, and then I usually just, if it needs a side skirt, if it needs some different elements here and there you go, just do it. And other than that, you just need to keep going and explore. That's what I do. So yeah, the Hakosuka starts to look a bit more thick. Yeah. Here on you can see on the orthographic views, it looks so much more wide than it actually is. But I actually really like to work on the orthographic view. I think it's easier for me. I've seen that some people actually have some preference to stay in the perspective mode. But yeah, general, I think it's just preference. So from here, we just keep going. First things that happens on this, you can see the fenders, the fenders design, the modeling of the fenders is always a bit rough, and then along the way you just clean it up. So Hakosuka getting fat meanwhile, and diffuser and everything goes on. But I need to say, it's funny because before I was never really a fan of this Nissan Skyline. I know my favorite was always the R34, of course, but then when you look back, things were always better before. Like, look at this car, not this one, obviously, not what it's becoming, and I mean, in general, the Hakosuka, the stock one, the factory version, it's a beautiful car. And to think that this car was against the Prius today, I don't know. I think it would have been a problem if it was the pure. I think it would have been a problem if it was a purist. A Prius. Yeah, I'm not used to talking so much. That's a lie. And yeah, wings, diffuser, big exhausts, everything, all of these is a lot of improvisation along with a sketch on the side, looking at how I can improve it, how I can make it better than the sketches. So it goes on and on. We're almost there. So next thing will be rather obvious, the rendering part of this thing. Need some side mirrors, obviously. So there you go. As you can see, the process here is rather rough because this side mirrors is nothing important to me, so I just do it like randomly, not without a care how it looks in the end. I mean, of course, with a bit of care, but in general, you know, no one is going to make one, so who cares? Just it can look like a hot dog bun. I don't care, as long as it's there on the side. Oh look, side mirrors, that works. So Corona Renderer is something I've been using since a while now, because I used to use a lot of Keyshot, but then I migrated. What made bird? I moved to Keyshot. No, I moved to Corona Renderer because yeah, I wanted to try it out. And when I first tried it out, and I thought it was very impressive, and I like the fact that it's implemented in 3D Max, because you know, you can actually work directly, create your scene if you're creating one, and you don't need to just all the time swap softwares, which is rather annoying. I don't like it so much. So Corona Renderer is actually very interesting to use, and I'm still learning how to use it properly, to be honest. But you know, I'm comfortable enough to be able to actually do some renderings and share it right now, because usually if I'm not, I just stick to the previous software. I would have been sticking to Keyshot. Maybe I would be doing some Keyshot at some point and show how Keyshot processes, how different it is. Maybe not. Maybe I should. Maybe not. Or maybe I should do. I think it would be nice. I think it would be nice to share. So color-wise, all of these, just no idea what I wanted to go with, and I initially chose a blue, but yeah, finally I ended up with the silver, like, you know, the original Hakosuka, maybe to look a bit more familiar. You gotta try, you know, you gotta try and see what works best. Unless you already have an idea in the beginning, you know what you're going with. If not, go wild. Go nuts, go crazy. So headlights, taillights, all of these little details I like to add last. So a few last look at the angles, and yeah, turn on these headlights and the taillights, and we have it. That's it. Right, before I stop talking, one last thing. If I sounded a bit weird, like as if I caught a cold, it's because I did. But anyway, I hope I managed to explain a bit more to you. I hope I managed to give you a bit more insight, and you can take a little bit more out of this. Again, it's not a tutorial, but I hope you enjoyed it. So let's have a look at the images we achieved this time. Enjoy.
And that is it for the Hakosuka. So, well, I had fun with this as usual, and I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed working on it, and I hope you enjoyed seeing the different process this time, the sketches, the modeling, and then the rendering. I did give you a bit more explanation this time, so I hope you get to take a little bit more out of it. Of course, it's not a tutorial, but you know, a tutorial takes a lot of time, and I'm sure I will get to this at some point, like I used to do before on Photoshop. I think I will get back to this at some point, just not now, because it's really it's time consuming, and I'm trying to focus on different things for now. And also, last time I talked about the different series that's coming. I'm still working on it. Had a very busy week, so it's getting there slowly. I'm trying to figure out how I will make it work. And if you didn't see the previous episodes yet, you know what, you can just go and check them out and let me know what you think. So if you're not subscribed, now is the best time to do so, because next week I'm going to have another episode of Follow His Car, and perhaps something else coming. If not next week, then the following one. But next week, definitely another Follow His Car. So leave the comments, tell me what car you would like to see next, your own car or your favorite car, whatever. So, and also hit that notification button, because you would want to be notified for the next one, because that's where I will see you in the next one.